be easy, be a challenge for us both nights. But play well, and the thing, probably play with more consistency for 40 minutes. We've played hard those last 2 games, just didn't do it long enough, or I shouldn't say hard long enough, good enough long enough. As I've said many times, we got no margin for error. We can't go 8 for 18 on the road and win in a close game. Old Dominion, you fight back. You can't turn it over 8 times in the second half against good quality teams. Again, try to find ways to become more consistent there.
How much have you appreciated Ben and Colin this year, adjusting to you?
Well, again, I didn't know anything about anybody coming in here who could do what. And, first thing about both of them, they've been good young men to coach. I think Anton probably has come a long way in his personal life. It was a little bit, academically, it was a little bit in a wreck from handling some things right way off the court. But to his credit, and it started last spring with him, he started doing things the right way off the court, and it was amazing how, the results he had. He piled that dirt off of him. He showed me something last spring. He had that dirt piled on him 6 foot deep. He dug it off of him and survived it. Then this past fall, had a great semester again. And believe it or not, he's in position to graduate. He's got 1 course we basically got to get him through. He's in 5 courses, seems to be doing well in all of them. We got to get him through Spanish. So if he can get through Spanish, Anton will walk out here with his degree, and that's an amazing accomplishment for him. Ben's been a great kid from day one. 0 negatives of Ben. Naturally would have liked to be able to have gotten more, consistency from him. But far as being a teammate and being able to coach him, he's been great.
You look at the grad seniors too, with their senior day coming up, and Cake and Q and Junior. Where do you think this team would be this year if it wasn't for those guys?
I don't want to think about it, to be honest with you. And still, again, we hadn't won the way I like to win, and many games we want to win. But as I've said from day one, and you guys know what the situation was, we had to patch some holes. In April, first off, there's just not very few high school guys anywhere that can come in, as many as we needed to give you a chance to compete. So our route was 5th-year guys. And the one thing I'll keep coming back saying, for the most part, they've given us a chance to compete. That don't mean we played great, don't mean we won games. But most times we walked into a game, we felt like we had a chance. So to answer that question, if we didn't have them, probably wouldn't have been a lot of games. You guys wouldn't been thinking we had a chance. And I think both you guys been with us better where we've been. And a lot of them games, I'm going to speak for both of you, feel like we have a chance. Hadn't been consistent for 40 minutes, and you can't win games without doing that. Our margin area was too small. So if we didn't have them, there wasn't a lot of games we had as blowouts anywhere, was it, in the non-conference. So you guys can figure where we'd be. You could very easily, looking back, who could we have beaten without them? You guys know who those scores are. I just remember there wasn't many games there was blowouts. Nowhere along the way. Early, late, it's been tight games. So, all 3 of them's been great kids to coach. All of them. They're good people. Good people. I couldn't have asked for more from any of them, from attitude-wise and ability to let you coach them. Junior had probably had the toughest task of anybody, having to come in and play a position he's never played in his life. But he's handled it, and he's gotten better from it. He's better now than he was, 2 months ago. But through all of it, when things weren't going good for him, he was still a great kid. He never turned the ball over on purpose. He never missed shots on purpose. He tried. You felt like he gave you everything he had. Cake's made great strides. Cake's one of those guys that If you had to draw up a blueprint of where you want a guy from a standpoint of work ethic and attitude, he's that guy. And he came a long way defensively for us. But he's a guy that takes care of his body. He eats right. He works out. He gets extra shots up. He's been a great team guy, and really enjoyed coaching him. And same way with Q. Q's a guy y'all have known, kind of been up and down shooting the basketball. But at the same time, all those guys, it's a tough adjustment for them coming in for 1 year in a different role and trying to figure it out. Even with himself, there's never been a bad moment of coaching him. Not one bad moment where I felt like he ever had an attitude. Any three of those guys, all three of those guys have been great teammates, and that's what has made it easier for them to adjust and other players to adjust to them. That was a long definition. I covered a lot of things right there. Question, come on, you don't get in without a question. Got a question? You ain't asked a question. Matt, go ahead. Matt, what's wrong with you? Got a sore throat? When did you quit answering questions?
Coach, with the first team of the weekend being a team automatically not in conference tournament, how important is it for the team, for you to preach to the team that they still have to stay mentally focused on taking on?
I don't think we look at it. Hadn't even thought about them not being in the tournament. Probably our team doesn't even know that. Really don't matter. I mean, they're the next team up. It's a home game. It's a chance to, go out here, on a winning note. And it's your next opponent. All that other stuff really don't matter. We hadn't even thought about it. To be honest with you, I didn't even know until yesterday they didn't make the tournament. I haven't even looked at it that close to even know, because it don't matter. They're going to show up here. They'll show up loose. Nothing to lose. They got plenty of talent. So it's more or less us showing up, doing what we got to do to get that W.
What is it that you see in Rice that presents such a threat when they're coming off a win over La Tech? What is it they bring to this?
I haven't looked at them yet, to be honest with you. I just know they got great guard play. What is it, the Evans kid? And they got a big guy out there that can shoot that basketball. And everybody says it's the best team Rice has had. I guess they've won 20 games, whatever they are in the league. So, but to be honest with you, have not looked at them at all yet.
What about maybe North Texas? You said they're a talented team.
Really talented. I mean, they got Woodridge. They're going to get off the backboard and going to push it. They got 4 guys who will bring it in transition. Woodridge is a really talented guard. Reese is a Texas A&M transfer. The Lawson kid I know well from College Station. He's also he's a freshman that's playing well, and they got a big guy in Green who may be their best shooter. The 4 guy can shoot it. They got good size and depth. I mean, they've been in a lot of games. They've been right there on the verge in a lot of games and didn't close them out. So, we have our own issues where we got to make sure that, we don't let a team like that give them a lot of confidence. It's always important to us that we can come out of that gate and get a good start. It's been a characteristic. We got to have a good start. And then find a way to, put a foot on someone's throat. Don't give them a chance to get back in. And I thought for the most part, the last game here against UAB, we did that. They made a run at us at the start of that second half and cut it to 7. And we went right back to 11 and 12 in the next minute. And from that point, we kind of controlled the flow of the game. That's what we got to be able to do.
Now that it's March, does the pressure get higher, or do things magnify for you that players are doing?
No, it's no difference. March, they all count as one win and one loss. We want to finish this thing out on a positive note here. And then you go next week, it's a new season. You don't have to worry about being the best team now for 30 games. You just got to be worried about being the best team for 4 games for us, isn't it? Best team for 4 games. And that's a lot less. So that gives everybody another opportunity, another chance.
Mike?
Yes, sir.
Rick, I haven't talked to you since Damari got hurt. Just since you've been around him, how are his spirits? No player wants to have their season end because of injury.
nobody's handled it, I mean, as well as you can handle it. Everybody's disappointed. He's disappointed, we're disappointed, and kind of a freak accident. Really didn't know at the time he had broken it. You guys were at Charlotte. It's kind of a freak deal. He was on defense, and guy ran into him, drove it in transition, and he took a hard bump. Somehow that hand got hung up the wrong way, and finished playing the game with it. Whatever time that happened, it was in the second half. But you could tell immediately after that game, you just look at that hand, when there's swelling in that spot where it was at, that wasn't a good sign. So he got his cast put on Monday. So, that's kind of where it is. I think he's got to wear that for about 6 weeks now.
Anything else? All right.
You didn't ask a